Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I have quite the treat for you guys. So a hot product on the beauty market right now is the Nikkie Tutorials times Beauty Bay collaboration. So I was fortunate enough to get this because I did sign up for their subscription that gives you access to their pre-sale. And I'm glad that I did because the palette did end up selling out. I'm not sure if they have released any information about a restock, but if they have, by the time that this video goes live, I will definitely have that information listed down below for you guys in the description. So don't forget to check that out. But in today's video, I will be trying out, well, I have tried out, but I will be on camera trying out several of the shades from this palette, creating this look, and also giving you guys my honest and true opinions about the palette, formulation, the setup, what I truly think about this palette. So if you guys want to know all of that information, then just keep watching. Okay guys, so let's jump right in. Don't mind my broken nail. Shit happens, okay girl. So here's what the package looks like. Obviously on the front side is like my address and everything. And then when you open it up like this, the first thing that you see is this Nikkie times Beauty Bay pop socket. I was like sock poppet. Pop socket for the back of your phone. I probably won't be using these because I just don't use my phone like that. I don't know. I just have like a regular, literally like very basic phone case. So yeah, I probably won't be using that. And then it came with the package. So this is the like carton that it comes in. Just like has her message on the back. And then like the keyhole that shows like both portals or whatever. So here's what the actual palette looks like. Of course, as you guys have seen in her video, it does come with that one protective sleeve that protects the eyeshadows, and then your two mirrors, and of course all of your eyeshadows. So very, very beautiful eyeshadow palette. Today, as you guys can tell, I am wearing blue clips, a navy blue shirt. So I am going to go for a baby bluish kind of eyeshadow look. I think I'm going to be using the shades Plot Twist, Mama Tutorials, and Amsterdam, and probably maybe Ivy. I'm not sure. So let's just jump right in. So the base for my face is already like, it's already been laid. I have already done my concealer and everything as well. And I did use concealer as like my eyeshadow base. The one I'm using is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. This is in the shade Swan. So I just like reapplied a little bit of that. The first thing that I always like to go in with is my eyebrow, the eyebrow highlight. I was like, what is the word? So I am going to swatch some of these to see what they apply like. This is the shade Ivy. It is very, very white. But it kind of is coming off as like not super, super thick. So I think that that's going to be okay to use as my eyebrow highlight. We're just going to go ahead and test it out. So on a clean brush, I'm just going to pick up that shade. So because that shade is kind of like a pressed glitter, the brush maybe wasn't like the best way to pick it up. I think on the card that comes in with the palette, it does suggest that that one be applied either with a finger or a brush. So it did kind of go on a little bit chunky, which is just not like my preference, but other than that, the palette doesn't really have like a brow highlight. So with that being said, we're just gonna leave it and move on. So next I'm gonna be taking the shade right here called Plot Twist. It does show up as like super ashy on camera. Let's see if we can get a better. Okay, yeah, it's like a very light baby blue, but in person it's more of like a very light periwinkle. So hopefully this doesn't go on super, super gray. Like I know that she had mentioned in her video, it applies differently to every single person. So I am going for a blue look, so I'm really hoping that it comes out like exactly how it shows on the pan, So I'm just taking a huge fluffy brush and I'm just gonna run this literally like over my entire eye basically. So I feel like the camera and the lights are really washing it out, but hopefully when I'm editing this video it comes out a little bit darker and you guys can get a better image of what the eye look actually looks like. I am gonna go ahead and pick up a different palette and just go in with a different eyebrow highlight, just because honestly, like, that's really bothering me. Like, it just looks really chunky, and that is not the look I was going for at all. So it looks a little bit better, and now we're just gonna move on to the next shade, which is gonna be this one right here, Amsterdam. And we're gonna go ahead and pick that up with a fluffy blending brush. This, I feel like, honestly, I'll probably start in my outer corner and just kind of like blend out into like my crease, okay? Okay, so that shade went on really nicely. I actually really quite enjoyed that. There is a little bit of fallout here, not so much on the other side, but I kind of laid down a semi-good-ish layer of powder, and it's just easy to dust off with a small little like under eye powder brush. As I was blending it all out, obviously the color does start to fade a little bit, but it's really easy to build that color right back up. So I actually really liked that shade. Next we're gonna go in with, I feel like, pink. Should we? I just don't want to like add too much color that it like ruins the look, you know? No, I think to stay on the safe side, we're gonna go ahead and take the shade Mama Tutorials right here, this like super pretty blue sparkly, this one, yeah, so some of these look like pressed glitters, like the shade Ivy, Pride, and then some of them just look like shimmers. So this looks more like a shimmer, and we're gonna go ahead and take that one pretty much all throughout the inner corner and meet it up with this shade right here. So I'm taking this shade on just a very small flat like eyeshadow packer brush. So that's the first application, and that's dry. I feel like definitely if I were to wet my brush, the application of that would be so much better. So I will go ahead and do that. I'm just gonna finish up the other eye first. So now I've wet my brush with the product on top, and let's see how more intense the pigment gets. So this is the product wet, and then this is over top of the dry, and then this is just the product dry. So when it is wet, it kind of like activates more aqua, silvery, baby blue reflex, so it just looks that much more vibrant, which I am such a fan of. So definitely recommend to wet that product and reapply it to give it just like more intensity. So I do feel like that first initial baby blue, the plot twist, it's still there a little bit. So I don't know if you guys can see it, where it kind of just is like a very gradient baby bluish, kind of like silver white casty look at the top, but it's also like not as true crazy baby blue periwinkle shade that I would have wanted to have as like my top transition color. But aside from that, I think everything else performed really well. I think I am gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my face, and then probably apply some lashes, and then come back and finish the under eye, or yeah, my waterline. Okay guys, so we're back. I did put on my lashes. I also added liquid liner. I used the One Size Boldly, what's it called? Point Made Bodacious Black liner. I tight lined my eyes as well. I wasn't gonna add liquid liner, and then I was just like, whatever, like the look's already pretty freaking out there, you know? So I added blush, bronzer, and now we are ready to finish up the eye look. So So I'm going to take this very, very dense short smudger brush, and I'm going to pick up this shade right here called Ew. On camera and like on my viewfinder, it's actually coming up a little more turquoisey than it really is. It's a very like seafoam mossy green, but nonetheless I think it's like almost in the same-ish kind of color family, so I want to take that and just kind of get the most out of this eyeshadow look and use as many eyeshadows not as possible, because I feel like if I had done like a more pinkish, neutralish kind of look, we could have gone for more eyeshadows, but get as much of the blues out of here, as much as like the crazy colors. And then I will probably, or you know what? Should we do purple? No, we're gonna do green. Okay, so, and then taking a more fluffier brush, I'm gonna pick up this shade back again, Plot Twist, which is that like grayish, periwinkle-ish, bluish shade that I put up here that is a little bit, like you can see it a little bit, but for the most part it's been blended out. So we're gonna buff it out with this shade right here, Plot Twist, on a bigger brush, so a more fluffy, a tiny, tiny fluffy brush. So on camera you can see it a little bit better, where it's coming off as more of a green color rather than a turquoisey blue color. So then taking this tiny, tiny, tiny tapered fluffy brush, we're gonna go ahead and pick up that Plot Twist shade and just kind of buff out the edges of this green mossy color. Ew. So here's what it looks like. You guys can see like it's kind of like a periwinkle-ish, very grayish blue, baby blue. I feel like it just kind of toned down that green shade, so I mean, do what you will with that information. Next we are going to take that same brush. I'm just going to clean it off just a little bit because it doesn't really matter that it still has some of that Mambo Tutorials color on, but the same brush that we used to apply the lid shade right here, we're going to take that same shade that we took in the beginning, this one right here, Ivy, the one that's like the pressed glitter, and we're going to apply this. Yeah, it's very, very like finely pressed, so it is picking up like kind of like some chunks and pieces of glitter. It's, yeah, there you guys go. So we're gonna apply this on the inner corner, because on the inner corner we just want some like intensity. We don't necessarily want it to like apply super, super flat or nice, or like a glitter shadow or even like a reflective shadow. Like it's okay if it's a little bit chunky. So there it is, just like really, really intense white light. For the most part, I think we are done. So I just added the bottom lash mascara, the same one that I always use, or that I've been using lately, the Diorshow Iconic Overcurl. So that's pretty much the finished look. I actually really, really like it. At first I was kind of thrown off by like how much blue I had put, but blue's a color I don't usually work with, so I was pretty happy to or I wanted to actually try and go out of my comfort zone and work with colors that I don't usually work with. Okay guys, so finally my final thoughts and opinions about this palette. I actually really, really like it. I feel like the setup, and I know several beauty gurus have talked about this, how it looks a little intimidating, but for me personally, I'm a very pinkish, orangey kind of girl, or a very neutral kind of girl. And I feel like this palette really gives you the best of both worlds, but also includes several really, really crazy shades, out there shades that you can definitely still get use out of. For example, today I definitely went out of my comfort zone and tried a blue look, and I feel like it just gave me the exact perfect shades that I needed to create that look. Sometimes you have blues that just don't really match well together, and I feel like all of these, including even the green, actually she did a really good job, because they all kind of color coordinate with like the greenish bluish part of the like color wheel. So I definitely really like that. But as I was saying, like the oranges all kind of look like they go together. Like you can create several looks with these shades right here, incorporate a red if you would like to, and have like a more of a pinky red look, and then even more so have like a very neutral section over here. So I just feel like there's so much you can do with this palette, just so, literally just so much. Like I did mention earlier in the video, there isn't really like a shade that I would use as like an brow bone highlight. So that's just the only thing, but you know, highlighters are so like oversaturated in this market that you can literally use like a face highlight to do your brows, so it's not that big of a deal, honestly. As for the mirrors, I didn't actually even play with them. I just feel like that's kind of very bulky to do on camera, but I definitely see myself traveling with this palette and definitely getting a lot of use out of these mirrors because it is very convenient where it's magnetic, so I can literally like not have this flap hanging out and close it up, you know, dab into the colors that I need, turn around and do the exact same thing. So I do appreciate that, those features and the convenience that it gives this palette. Yeah, really, in all honesty, the only shades that I wish had a little bit more pigment payoff is this one right here, Plot Twist. I just feel like it isn't as prominent on my eyelids as I wish that it was in person. On camera, I'm not sure, like I won't know until I start editing this video, but nonetheless, it still performed really amazing, and it still blended out really nicely. She did mention though that this shade kind of comes off different on every single person, so again, that could be a factor, but overall, I really like this palette. I do foresee myself traveling with this a lot because it kind of just has everything that you would need. I usually travel with like 2, sometimes even 3 palettes because I want to get literally a little bit of everything, and I just kind of feel like this does that for me. So I'm very happy with my purchase, and I definitely recommend this for you guys. The formula also is amazing. Like I don't know if I've already said that like 40 times, but it's really amazing. This is my first ever Beauty Bay formulation, well, Beauty Bay palette, so it's my first time trying their formula, and I'm really blown away. Like I'm glad that this was my first impression of the brand. Okay guys, so that concludes today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, found it interesting, informative, entertaining, inspiring. Go out and play with some makeup, get out of your comfort zone just as I did. I mean, I don't know how comfortable I would feel, you know, rocking this out to Target, but it definitely came out really beautifully in my opinion. So with that being said, just again, you guys don't even understand how much I appreciate you guys being here. Please don't forget to leave your future video requests in the comment section down below. You know the drill. And like always, don't forget to believe in yourselves, stay woke, stay educated, and stay safe, okay? And I'll see you guys in next week's video. Bye!